3, 2, 1.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is The Real Pineapple. This is your humble co-host, Hunter, and I'm here joined by the pride of Ireland, Colin. Colin, how are you, buddy?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. So by the time you guys hear this review, it will be Friday morning the 7th. I will be in New Hampshire by this point tomorrow. So if I come back and I seem just calm and out of sorts, you know I got get outed while I was in New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah. Stay away from the teacups.
Yeah, dude, seriously, right? So if that happens, Colin, you're the captain of the ship. Get Scott back and continue avenge me.
Yeah, just let me know. I'll be like the buddy and get out. Just let me know if things are going down, and I'll get a flight over there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. but I'm excited. I'm actually excited to go to. I'm not gonna stay in Boston. I'm gonna be there for like maybe an hour. But outside all the dumb Patriots gear I'm gonna see, I'm excited about going to Boston.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be pretty cool. It's your first time to the East Coast, right?
It is. The East Coast is about to get a big old dose of Hunter. But
that's just what they need.
Yeah, exactly. Lord knows. But yeah, I'm excited about the trip. But guys, we're actually reviewing a movie that Colin, and I think this happens more often than not. Colin will beat me to seeing movies, and it's almost like a competition. I'm like, okay, did you see that yet? It's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, motherfucker. Like, so you actually beat me to seeing this. So as much of a slut as I am for comic book movies, admittedly, if you've listened to the podcast, you know this. I love most comic book movies, or at least like them. The thing I just love even more, I love these coming of age movies. So something like Edge of 17, which I love Edge of 17. I just watched that a couple weeks ago. I was like, yep, still holds up.
Yeah, great movie. Or the remake, Bumblebee.
Yeah, yeah. The Bumblebee is just a sequel to Edge of 17, but
yeah, just with fighting robots.
Yeah, and then of course Eighth Grade, which we both loved from last year. Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Great movie.
The
Superbad, of course.
Superbad. The Way Back.
Way Back. Great one. Yeah.
Which is something I feel like a lot of people haven't heard of. If you have not seen The Way Back, go watch The Way Back. It's
so good.
It's wonderful. Mm-hmm. But we're talking about I was about to say Brightburn. Like, that's not right. Brightburn's a coming of age movie. We're talking about Booksmart, which is written by Emily. I'm gonna butcher his name. So Emily Halpern, Susanna Vogel, Sarah Haskins, and then Katie Silberman, who have writing credits including Blackish, which is, I love Blackish, that's great. The Spy Who Dumped Me, didn't love that. And there's this I want to say it's an ABC show. This that show The Mayor, which I don't think anyone watched. Like,
oh god, The Mayor looked terrible.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes. It wasn't great. And then
people can get like writing jobs for any number of reasons, and usually the number one reason is I need a paycheck.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's nice to see when people can do their passion projects.
Yeah, which is what this felt like. And then Katie Silberman, she actually was a screenwriter on Isn't It Romantic, which I actually liked. I haven't reviewed that yet, but I thought it was actually pretty cute. And Adam Devine in a romantic comedy. Come on now. Of course I'd like that. But
it's great.
Yeah, but I gotta say, this is the directorial debut of Mrs. Jason Sudeikis herself, Olivia Wilde, who is mildly talented. To go through just a couple movies, she was in Rush. I loved her in Rush. She was a pardon me. She was in that movie Butter, which I feel like a lot of people didn't see. I like Butter quite a bit.
Butter's a good movie. It's very strange. It's about a competition of sculpting butter.
Yeah.
But she was very good in it. I loved her in Drinking Buddies, even though I hated how that movie ended. That's a great movie, and she has an incredibly wonderful character in that movie. Very lovable.
Yeah,
You could see how it'd be very easy to fall in love with Olivia Wilde.
Oh, absolutely, and we're not even getting to just her looks, where she's a goddess. Oh my god.
No, but her personality, she's just like so awesome.
Yeah, she's very fun, and you can clearly tell. And
it makes sense why her and Jason Sudeikis are together. Like Jason Sudeikis, one of like the funniest people on the planet,
and actually a very handsome guy too. Like I saw him,
very charming.
I saw him in this. I was like, yeah, I see it. He was Drinking Buddies. That ending of that movie is just, oh god, I hate the ending of that movie. She was in Rush.
I just want them to be together so bad.
She was in Rush too. I love Rush. That's another movie I think people need to go back. Yeah,
Rush is a good one. That's a good one.
And then she was in.
Is Rush? Shoot. What's his name? Ron Howard. Did he do that one?
He did indeed. Yeah. Good. Great memory. Proud of you.
And is Thor in it as well?
Yeah, that's Chris. Yeah, he plays James Hunt. Remember?
Yeah. That's a great movie.
Yeah, that's a great freaking movie. So this being her directorial debut, you think about, so how do I put this? I'll compare it to something like Don John, and I'm gonna throw that out there because you look at someone like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who, had quite the acting profile, obviously before directing himself in Scarlett Johansson. Good grief, in that movie. And I think we both liked Don John. We weren't blown away by it though. We're like, this is okay, but
Yeah, Don John's like, it's kind of fun. It's like a funny movie. It's funny to see like the really heavy Italian accents the whole time. It's kind of like Jersey Shore-ish. But yeah, not like the best thing ever.
Yeah, so I mean, I get why some people would just not be the biggest fans of something like Don John. For me, what I'll say is, oh my god, Olivia Wilde, girl, bravo, tip of the cap. Whatever it is that you want to do.
Hi Buster.
Hi Buster, you're a good boy.
Buster, that's Buster agreeing with you.
Yeah, this movie's fucking fantastic. Like I was floored by this movie. Oh my god, thank God. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The last couple things we saw, Brightburn, not great. Aladdin's all right. But it'd been a couple weeks since I'd seen something that I went, oh my god, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. This is wonderful in a way I was like, oh my god, I needed this. And, of course, while I love Infinity War and stuff like that, it is really great to see something slower, you know what I mean? To something a little more down to earth. I recognize Beanie Feldstein, because I recognize her from Neighbors, Neighbors 2.
Yeah, that's right.
And then she was in Lady Bird, too. I was like, that's right. I was like, okay, I've seen her. And I remember Kaitlyn Dever, she was in Detroit, which, Detroit, that's a great movie, but god damn it. So seeing her in this, I was like, oh my god, okay, cool. So, I mean, do you want to just kind of go through the plot here, good sir? Sure,
yeah. And you were talking about the actresses portraying the two main characters. You would say this is probably both of their like first leading roles, right? Like,
yeah, this is like their coming out party.
This is their coming out party, yeah. So for the plot of this movie, it lends to the name Booksmart, very literally. That's kind of ties into the whole premise of the movie is these two girls in their high school about to graduate. I think it's like the night before graduation, or at least So it's the whole movie's one night, right? And then it's like it ends up on the next day. Very similar to previous high school movies. I feel like that's always a good way to do it. It's all in one night. It's just one adventure that happens on one night. But the start of the movie is during the day of the last day of school. There's crazy pranks going on. And Molly and Amy, the two main characters, who are valedictorian and salutatorian, the two highest GPAs in the school, haven't done anything fun or hung out with any of the crazy kids or gone to any parties their whole high school careers. And they are getting into really good schools. I think it's like Molly's getting into Yale.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Amy's getting in. I think she's taking a year abroad, but she hasn't told Molly this yet. But anyway, they're like two of the smartest girls in the school, but they have no social lives outside of themselves. And during the course of the day, Molly actually finds out that some of the cooler kids in school, during a pretty funny scene, pretty intense scene, when Molly's actually in the stall of the girls' bathroom.
Dude.
And some of the cool kids are talking shit about her. About how she's like, such a nerd and
and also next level shit, might I say?
Next level shit for sure. And so anyway, that just leads into Molly kind of like calling them out and saying like, yeah, you know what, you guys think you're so cool, but I'm gonna be like your boss one day. I'm going to the best schools in the country. And then she finds out that not only have the cool kids been partying and making friends with everyone else in school and having all these friends, but they're getting into really good schools too, because they actually did study, which is like mind-blowing for Molly.
So I think this movie has a really good message in that sense. Like, so I mean, I'll say, you're one of the smartest people I know. Period.
Stop it.
It's true. No, you are. Like, you're truly are one of the smartest people I know and have met. And no, it's true, man. And Mr. O'Neill here. I mean, I think we both kind of got a little, I'll put it like a little silly in our early 20s. But I mean, I remember you were going to school, you were working, you had a social life, you were dating, like, and then you end up at UNR, met your wife and everything. I mean, you found a really good way to balance. I think this movie, if there is a message to take away from it, it is that concept of balance. Like, you can be, book smart, but that doesn't have to be, exclusive. You can actually go ahead and, like, go out and have fun and to learn to give yourself a break, which, again, I think is really important. And so these two girls, they basically just go, you know what, fuck it, we're going to go. Well, actually, that's not true, because really it's more of...
Molly.
Yeah, it's more Molly's the one who kind of just has this freak out moment.
She hears this, and it, like, it blows her mind that, like, all these other kids are getting into a new school. I feel like Amy doesn't care as much, because Amy has actually decided to go live abroad and take a year off.
Amy
wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Amy is kind of like a not as emo Daria from the MTV show. Dude, I was laughing because I was like, oh man, like
Daria was probably gay. Was she openly gay? I don't even remember Daria.
Actually, I don't remember. Now I'm totally.
She was probably. It was probably like implied.
Yeah,
or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I actually never watched Daria. I just remember. I saw the commercials for it. I've seen lots of clips of Daria.
Oh, Daria's a great. So it's funny because Amy is that total, and Colin will tell you this. He's known me since I was 12. Amy is the sort of girl that I would go after in a heartbeat. Like that kind of like that sort of hipster, like kind of.
You're like the guy that has like, if you had a bunch of money in high school, you would have totally been the guy that like has the party on the yacht. But yes! People would have came. But you would have been that overly happy, overly energetic. Although I think that guy was too nice to be you. Because you make fun of people more.
Okay,
but in the sense that you would have been going after the girl that wasn't into guys, just like he was very persistently.
Yeah, and that.
Or no, he's going after Molly. I'm sorry, isn't that right?
Yeah, it's funny because I like totally put my dating preference out there. Why not? Amy's the sort of girl I would have found like been like, oh hey, you're super cute, like in high school and even now. Molly is the sort of girl I'd run into at like a boo boo records, like a independent like CD store. Be like, oh, you're getting Lacuna Coil. I love Lacuna Coil, and get her number that way.
Lacuna Coil drop. Shout out Lacuna Coil.
Fucking love Lacuna Coil. Or Tyler the Creator, because he's gonna be here in Reno in a couple of months. Whoop. Sorry. Well, anyways,
those two artists couldn't be further in style from each other.
I know. I listen to a lot of different shit.
I was gonna say, wow, man.
But it's really, I think the real hook of this movie is the friendship between Kaitlyn Dever and Beanie Feldstein as Molly.
Friendship is magic, man.
Or as Amy and Molly. Their friendship, it's so fucking cute. And the movie does have fun with it, like in the same way I think Me and You do, where it is like they're so close, you kind of go like, are they sleeping together? Are they gay for each other? And the movie definitely has fun with that. I mean, as we do on here. I mean, we constantly, Colin's always give me crap for that, but it's fine because it's true. But what?
But they're like codependent. They're so like they're so closely tied together. Like they can't even have relationships with other friends because they're so codependent on each other.
Yeah, and I will say, even the opening scene. Where Molly wakes up and she basically has one of those inspirational tapes like, you're a winner, you're gonna look down on all the people who've doubted you, fuck them all. I was like, oh my god. I was like, all right. Funny. And the movie opens up with Molly walking down her steps and her and Amy just having like a solid minute long dance break in front of her car. I was like, oh my god, this is great. I was dying at that point. I was like, all right, this is what I'm looking for. And I gotta give Olivia Wilde a lot of credit for one thing here. Jason Sudeikis is in this, of course. We mentioned they're married. It would have been really easy to overuse Jason Sudeikis here. Like, it would have been really easy because he's established name and everything. Pardon me. I appreciate two things. One, Olivia Wilde isn't in this that I remember.
No, she's not.
And I was like, oh, okay, because
she should have gave herself a cameo though, like a real short cameo, because it's her movie. Why not, right?
Yeah. I mean, M. Night appears in his shit, like I would have appreciated a little cameo.
Well, I guess I should say, there's a Neary. Sorry about that. I was gonna say, it's not that she should have, but I think she could have had a short cameo and it would have been cool, but she certainly didn't have to.
No, that's fair. What I will say too, though, is that the second compliment, she could have really overused Jason Sudeikis here. Like, that would have been really easy.
He was great in this.
And I don't think people would have minded, but I appreciate the fact that the movie does really focus on the two main actresses, and they use Jason Sudeikis just enough.
Yeah, like he's very similar in capacity to. Or at least initially when you see him, not super similar, but I mean, it's similar enough. But Woody Harrelson in Edge of 17, where Woody Harrelson is kind of that like cool character that's like doesn't give a shit about this girl's problems, but he actually does. He's just like trying to he's just being his personality. But Jason Sudeikis, I agree. He wasn't overused, which could have been easy to do.
So what I find funny about that is that I feel like Woody Harrelson's character in Edge of 17, he was great, obviously, and he is used more in that movie. But yeah, you get the whole point. Like, he does care about Haley Steinfeld. I really never felt like Jason Sudeikis cared about these kids.
Yeah, that's fair, actually. I was going to say, the funniest part is when you realize he's a Uber driver. He was definitely a much more pathetic character than Woody Harrelson's. That's actually, mid-sentence when I was saying he's kind of similar to Woody Harrelson. I thought about both characters real quick in my mind. I was like, wait, no, they're not really that similar. I mean, they're similar in their roles of, kind of, not giving a shit about the girl. Or the girls, at school, but you find out Woody Harrelson's character has definitely got his life together more than Jason Sudeikis did.
Dude, so Jason Sudeikis, the first time he interacts with the girls, they're arguing about the budget for, I can't remember the school club it is, but they're like, hey, we need to review this budget, and they're like, and he's like, oh, come on, it's the last day of school, like, give me a break. Principal Brown, that's who Jason Sudeikis plays, and they're like, hey, like, we could really use your help on this, and he's like, hey, oh no, the door's closing, oh no, and he like closes the door. I was like, damn, like, last day of school, just being a total prick. It made me fucking laugh. I think what's crazy about this movie is I'm gonna have to rewatch it, not just because I love it, but this movie is just rapid. It kind of reminded me of the first Horrible Bosses, where there's so many jokes coming so quickly. I was catching maybe 85% of them. You know what I mean? Like there's sight gags. There's there's pop culture references.
And the actresses, I would say specifically Beanie Feldstein. She's really, really funny. Like Kaitlyn Dever is more of kind of like the straight man in this comedy. You know what I mean? Like the sitcom. Like she's more of like the person being like, Molly, you're being crazy. Like when Molly's being really funny. They had that really nice kind of like just like 1-2 punch comedy duo chemistry going on. They had great chemistry.
I guess she plays Eve Baxter on Last Man Standing. I never watched Last Man Standing because I don't hate myself, so I wouldn't know that, but apparently she's on that show. I guess.
Which one is?
Molly.
Beanie Feldstein.
Oh, Amy. Sorry.
I don't know. Kaitlyn Dever.
Yeah. Apparently she's on The Last Man Standing.
Yeah, I actually didn't recognize her from anything when I started watching it. Like I've seen the movie Detroit, but I don't actually remember her in it when I think about it.
Holy shit! Oh my god, she was on Justified. She was Loretta. Okay, I totally recognize. Okay, that's a trip. So, oh my god, she's little Loretta. Oh my god. Okay, I just love her even more now. Yeah, no, she's great. All right, good on you, girl. So
she's like a nice like American like younger Saoirse Ronan, like ready to take off.
That's a good way to put it. And I will say, after watching this movie, I really want both of them to do well because I think their comedic timing is impeccable. I mean, really,
Kaitlyn Dever had some good acting in this.
Yeah, and she gets more of the dramatic beats, which we'll get to
for sure.
So I just want to. So Jessica Williams, who used to be on the Daily Show, she has that Netflix movie that I'm totally blanking on right now. I love Jessica Williams. Just by the way, quick sidebar: she when they recast Storm, it should be her. Just throwing that out there. She's not in this a lot. But she gets some lines that I just went, oh man, she's a fucking delight. I love seeing her in this. There's this one student who I know they say is 20, who is he's trying so hard to get some. Her name's Miss Fine in the movie too, which I think is pretty funny. This one student, he is just thirsty. There is it's really funny how that subplot plays out later on. They have of course, the big house party, and she's like, "Oh, you're 20, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And you just see her immediately take a big sip of her drink. I was like, "Oh shit, I know." I was like, "I know where this is going." But Jessica Williams, she's that cool teacher. I mean, for me, going back to high school, I'd probably say Mr. Baxter. Like, he's probably one of my favorite teachers.
Yeah, Mr. Baxter, cat cleric.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Baxter out of Rio Grande, California. I don't think he even teaches there anymore, but if he does...
Dude, that wasn't biology, was it? Was it biology?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, hell yeah. Go Mr. Baxter. Dude, yeah. I got a degree in biology. That dude was a great teacher. That was senior year, too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Baxter was sick, dude.
He helped me a lot with my he was a lot of my inspiration for puns, because anytime he'd go on the other hand, he'd switch his marker to the other hand. I laughed every time. I thought it was so funny as shit, and everyone would just go like, "Oh," I'm like, that's great, come on. And also another quick teacher shout, Mr. Spinman, who was our
that guy hated you. He hated me too.
Yeah, who was our yearbook teacher? That poor bastard. He had to deal with me, Colin, and Kyle.
Yeah, we ruined like 3 to 4 years of that guy's life.
Oh, easily. He probably took off 10.
Yeah. Because even freshman year, we started coming into his classroom at lunchtime, and he was like, "Who are you? Why are you here?" And you're like, "Oh, Kyle's in your first period class, so we're just going to be here every lunch now." And he was just like, "I hate all of you."
Yeah, basically.
And it's like 4 years. We'd like play basketball, and then we'd come into his classroom and eat lunch, and he was just like, "You guys are worthless."
Yeah. But quick, oh god, snorted. Quick sidebar just before we get back here. I remember parent-teacher conferences junior year. I had like a chemistry class and like Bible lit, and so I'm doing good in like pretty much all my classes except for chemistry, because chemistry I'm not good at math and science. But Mr. Spinneman, I remember specifically saying to my mom and Byron, going, "Hey, so yeah, Josh and Colin and Kyle, they're really good in yearbook, but they all feed off each other and they're all terrible." Like, I remember saying that.
Spin definitely like put like a bunch of negative thoughts into my parents' head. He's just like, yeah, that group of kids, they gotta focus on whatever. And I'm just like, Spinneman, you're just being a dick. You just want us out of your room.
Yeah. Well, thank God.
Like, we're all fine. You're just like sick of us invading your space. And we're like, we didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Thank God we're so much more calm and mature now. But
I know we're so great now.
Right. So I mean, of course, it leads to a big house party. That so since we're going down the list here, I did not expect to see Will Forte in this. I love Will Forte.
I love Will Forte.
And so there's a scene.
Oh my god, he's the dad.
Yeah, he's
he's Amy's dad.
Yeah, and Lisa Kudrow. So I will say,
great parents.
While I have never understood Friends, I've tried watching it multiple times. I just don't get it. Granted, I'm not white, but I just have never understood Friends. I don't get it. I've always had a crush on Lisa Kudrow. I think she's such a brilliant comedian. She had that one HBO show, The Comeback, which I thought was actually really great and was really overlooked. So it was really cool that they're not in it a lot, but it was really cool to see them just working off each other. And they are pro comedians. And just even, it felt like they had this scene where Molly basically speaks up for Amy so they can sneak out to this house party that Mason Gooding's character Nick, who you find out Molly just wants to bang the shit out of, is throwing. And so Molly goes in and speaks up for her and Amy because Amy can't lie. And it's really funny. They go through, Doug goes through this list of foods that he named for the occasion of them graduating. And it is just the most wonderful parenting cringeworthy shit that you think of when you're a teenager and you're just like, oh god, mom and dad, please stop doing that. Like, I can't even remember some of the stuff he said about the food. Like something like one of them was like nacho, why are you leaving, or something like that. I was like, oh, this is so cringy, but it's making me just die.
Yeah, but the best part is that they think that they're like gay for each other.
Yeah, and so it's really funny. So they take a
they're like,
shot.
and they're being like quietly supportive. They're like taking like the military's like aspect of it and just like, don't ask, don't tell.
You just hit the nail on the head, because like Molly even says like, it's amazing that your parents are so supportive even though they're Christian. Which that's when the hardest laughs I got. I was like, ha ha ha, because if you have me as a Facebook friend, you know it's a constant argument I have. And but yeah, that's very Colin. God, I love your analysis sometimes so much. Yeah, it's very much we think you're gay, but if we don't acknowledge it, we don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So,
and the best part is that like Amy is so like okay with this, you know, situation as it is right now. She's like, I don't need to come out of the closet. I'm not gonna have this conversation with my parents. But Molly thinks it's so hilarious that like they think that this is actually happening, even though it's not. Like, Amy is gay, but she's not actually gay for Molly. It's like a hilarious written scenario that's playing out. But Molly just thinks it's so funny that she keeps like putting all of these implications that they're gonna like totally hook up that night.
Yeah, which I just found hilarious because the parents were like, "Oh, like we don't need to know about it. Like it's fine, have fun." It's like, oh, like that's so fucking mean.
Yeah. Just fucking with him.
But dude, so I'm going through my notes here. My notes were so scattered because I was just trying to keep up with all the jokes. I mean, so I remember. I think it's So I remember one joke Molly made in particular because we're talking about Amy being gay, and she's like, and she has a crush on this girl, Ryan, right? I want to say it is. Yeah, Ryan.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the skater girl.
Yeah, who kind of looks like a how do I put this? Kind of like a Butch Avril Lavigne. That's kind of how I describe her. Like,
yeah, she's very boyish. She has like her hair's not like completely boyish, but it's like, yeah, she's just kind of she's looks a little boyish. So she's,
So I will say the movie did a great job of making me feel like an asshole because if you looked at Ryan and you're a betting person, you'd probably go, yeah, she's probably gay.
Yeah.
Or bi, maybe.
Right.
So I was leaning, because, they tell you Amy's gay, so it's like, oh, she's attracted to Ryan. Okay, Ryan's clearly gay. Turns out Ryan's not gay. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, Ryan's just actually very nice. Like, Ryan's just, like, very cool. Like, she's a very good... Like, Ryan wants to be friends with Amy. She just doesn't want to, like, hook up with Amy.
Yeah.
And then, actually, someone who's kind of a bitch to Amy ends up totally actually wanting to hook up with her.
Oh, and we'll get there.
They reverse the stereotypes.
And I will say, too, that did make me laugh, kind of the irony of that, because that took me back to high school, how many girls would go, wait, you're not gay? I'm like, this again. So I did find it kind of funny. I was like, Ryan's clearly gay. Oh, okay. like, fair enough.
The movie's just like, see how easy it was for people to do that, Hunter?
Yeah, see, Hunter, this is why everyone thought you were gay. But one of the lines that made me laugh the hardest is because they're talking about Ryan, Molly and Amy are, and I was mid sip of my beer, and Amy goes, "You think Ryan's gay?" And Molly, without missing beat, goes, "I don't know if she's into girls, but she did wear a polo shirt to prom," and I spit up part of my beer. I was like, "Oh, damn it!" I laughed really hard at that line. I was like, "Okay, that was fucking clever. Well said." So going just down the list here of everyone else, man. Dinah Silver, she plays Hope, who is just this very typical cheerleader girl, just like classically beautiful girl that you'd see in high school. Kind of one of those one of the preppy girls. And I will say, dude, Hope is. Her name being Hope is really ironic because she's just such a bitch to Amy at every fucking turn. I was like, God damn, like, even I was like, okay, ease the fuck up a little bit. Like, she was just going out of her way to be mean to her. And I felt really bad for it. And the thing is, too, this movie does a great job of garnering sympathy for Amy and Molly. Because Molly clearly just wants to have a good time. But she's got some, and I don't think they touch on it. They don't touch on it a lot. But, I mean, she's not what you'd call, classically beautiful. I think Molly's really cute. But she has a thing for this guy, Nick, played by Mason Gooding. And Nick is like, I don't think they say he's the captain of the football team, but he might as well be. Because he has that, that very classic look to him.
Yeah, he's like generic popular kid for this type of movie.
Yeah. Oh, my God, that's Cuba Gooding Jr.'s kid.
No fucking way. Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
How funny is that?
Oh, that's a trip. Oh, good for him. Okay, shit. I like that.
Cuba Gooding Jr. must be like friends of like Olivia and Sudeikis or something.
Probably. And honestly, Mason did a great job. I thought he did a really great job.
He was fine.
Not as big a fan. All right, that's fine.
Well, no, I just don't. His role didn't really like warrant him doing a great job. I would say he didn't have many lines.
Well, I thought near the end of the movie when they're at the house party and he's having a flirt, he's flirting with Molly. I thought he really sold a lot.
Well, he probably is good at flirting with girls in real life. He's Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son. He probably gets tail like crazy.
I mean that's a fair point. You probably didn't have to stretch that much for that, but. The character we have not talked about, and there's two that we haven't talked about that I want to talk about. Billy Lord as Gigi. Okay, she's basically the McLovin in this movie, essentially, is probably what I'd say. She's amazing. She is so fucking wonderful. The movie is worth seeing just for her alone because she ends up.
Is she the crazy sister?
Yeah.
Is
she's
that
crazy.
Nikki and I watched it, and Nikki kept saying that's Leia's daughter. Were you aware of that? What's it? Christina Fisher? Is that her name? No, Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher. Sorry, I have brain farts a lot. And by brain farts, I mean I just took a massive rip on my pen. But yeah, Carrie Fisher. Is that Carrie Fisher's daughter? Because that's what Nikki kept saying.
What tripped me out? So I remember her from Scream Queens because I'm apparently a 14-year-old girl. But
that's what Nikki knew her from.
Yeah, oh god, it makes me feel worse.
Nikki loved that show.
Yeah, I really dig it, but I remember her from that, and she is like the Great Gazoo. She just pops up everywhere Amy and Molly end up, and that ongoing joke just had me fucking rolling because she's best friends with Jared, who's played by Skylar Gisondo, who's the other guy I want to talk about. He's the guy you're talking about earlier with me about. Yeah, I'm not nice enough to be that guy, which in high school is very accurate, but he's a really he's like the nicest wigger you'd ever meet. It's probably how I kind of classify him. But
he's like a straight out of the movie Glee. Like he's just like that Glee Club type of popular kid. It's
okay, I can see
doing the over the top stuff, or like he seems like he could be in like High School Musical. He was just like overly positive, even when like life was like really shitty to him, or like people were like, "You're so lame," or like, "We're not coming to your party." He just always kept this like smile and like big personality. But it seemed like a really authentic high school kid, though, especially because he had so much money.
Yeah, what I appreciate about the kid is that he just wants to have fun, and he just wants to love on people, and in that way I actually did relate to him. What I appreciate about him is that they use him to really bring up a thing about high school, which they talk about some rumors that some kids have. Like they talk about the one girl, oh god, what they call her AAA because she just sucked like 3 dicks like on the side of the road.
Exactly, AAA because she keeps hooking up with dudes in cars.
Yeah, and also, dude, I mean, we went through high school, man. High school, and I don't think people realize it. High school was rough when we went through it.
Yeah, that chick, by the way, is the chick that was talking mad shit about our main character Molly in the bathroom. So it's coming full circle now because when they interact with her at the party later.
And I appreciate that because it does bring up something about high school where, like I was just saying, high school was rough when we went through it. I can't even imagine going through high school now.
It's gotta be horrible today.
Yeah, because I mean we're like the MySpace generation. MySpace was just becoming a thing when we were in high school. Now there's so many different social media avenues to just fuck with people and to really spread rumors. And this movie touches on something that I love, how just one person can say, "Oh, this person's a slut," or "This person's a whore," or "This person, got a hooker for his birthday," which is a rumor that's spread about Jared, and how that shit can just turn to a wildfire so quickly so that the whole school is repeating it or believing it. And I really appreciate how they touched on that, because I think that's really important. Like, in, unfortunately, this bullying generation that seems like we're in, that kids hear that, or teenagers, whatever. I think that's insanely important for people to hear. And it really did it broke my heart a little bit, man. Because honestly, I remember hearing the rumors I was gay. And I can't remember who I ended up confronting about it. But I remember going like, why do you think I'm gay? It's like, oh, well, most your girls, like your friends are girls and you're just nice. I'm like, wait, that makes me gay? And it was kind of like that first sort of, oh, rumors are fucking terrible. But then hearing rumors about, other people. And, sometimes you don't shut them down. Sometimes you spread them, sometimes you accept them. Like, high school is such a crazy time in general, and again, especially now. And I really appreciate the fact the movie didn't just let that go not touched upon. And also too, man, when you get to the end of the movie where you get to the house party, because just like in Superbad, that's where it kind of leads to. It's the big house party. Amy and Molly, and I've known you for, oh my god, 20 years this year. Holy crap.
Yeah, 20 years.
Oh my god, that's a trip. 20 years this year. Good grief. And you still haven't blocked me yet. But swipe left. But
Thought about it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But Amy and Molly have that sort of fight that you can only have with someone you love. You know what I mean? Like, they just say some shit while I was sitting there and it's like, oh no. Or like, no, don't do this here. Yeah. Like, no.
Everybody's
like,
filming it.
Yeah, and by the way, kids would be dicks like that too, and film some shit like back in our day, you didn't have to really.
This
worry
movie
about
was
that.
like really good about its subtlety in like its time period. I would say in direct contrast to the movie Blockers, where Blockers was like heavily, the whole plot kind of like was in.
That's fair.
In like the Blockers like needed the phone, like the whole thing was like them following them on their Apple accounts and all of the text messaging and whatnot. And I thought it was like way more in your face. I thought this one was like, it was trying to keep that kind of like timeless John Hughes nature to it, but still acknowledging like, hey, yeah, we're in a time where everybody does have a phone. But I think that like their phones, they actually like their phone dies or they can't seem to get the party's address online no matter their attempts, so they have to use like other means, and it pushed the story along without just the obvious tools that you could use with your phone.
And I appreciate too the fact that there's a point where their phone dies. They end up at this pizza parlor, which I mean, if there is a complaint, and this is me like nitpicking, admittedly, but there is this subplot with a guy who ends up being a serial killer. Now, I thought the scene, Michael Bryan plays Pat the pizza guy. There's this subplot with him. Now, the scene in the car was hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny.
They're trying to like rob him for information, so the
girls are so stupid.
Yeah, they use their hair as masks, and Pat calls them out, rightfully so, on their bullshit and goes like you didn't even get masked, you didn't even have a gun, like you realize you're in my car now, I can just drive right over the underpass and just kill you both. I was like, yeah, he's completely right on that.
But he was on the job, so he wouldn't have an alibi. He was just like, if I was just like on the street right now and had an alibi, I would be murdering you right now. But you're lucky because I have to deliver this pizza and everyone knows I'm at work.
Yeah, and so they use him to get the address to Nick's party. What I laughed at really hard, they're like, hey, is that Molly's like, hey, we're already in the car, so can we like, would you mind driving us there? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? They're like, oh my god, he's like, no, get the fuck out of my car.
You're so stupid.
I was like, yeah, that's actually how that would go. But then come to find out, he was a killer. Like, he was like the Scranton Strangler, basically.
Yeah, they like have a nod to that at the end.
Yeah, which I was like, oh, okay. And I will admit, that's a little, it's such a nitpick, but Amy ends up in jail at the end of the movie, and I guess they don't explicitly say it, but I guess her getting out of jail was dependent on the information for catching Pat the pizza guy, so I was kind of like, alright, that's a little convenient, but sure.
Oh yeah, the ending's very convenient. I mean, they show up to like the speech right on time, or like, a minute late or something.
Yeah, now, going back real quick to Hope, because Hope and Amy have this conversation after Amy and Molly have this blow up, and I'll tell you right now, the movie went up like a notch for me after that fight, because it's such a real, uncomfortable, might I add, fight that they have. I was like, oh shit. And by the way, I went and saw this on Tuesday. There was probably about 60 people there. I was the only dude in that theater. I looked and I was like, oh man. I was like, this is like, I've seen movies on Pornhub that start like this, but
one black dude fucks a whole theater.
Exactly. But I was really happy though, because like a lot, like our theater was dying. Women were laughing and cheering and high-fiving, and I'm like, I'm really happy that A, people are seeing this, because you should, but B, that, I mean, considering the absolute, just lack of quality crap that they put out specifically for women. I mean, I just saw The Hustle a month ago, and ugh. So I was really happy to see this just be as great as it was. And while the ending is admittedly very convenient, Hope and I'll put it out there, why not? Hope and Amy, there's a scene where Hope just starts just ripping into Amy again and just going like, oh, you're crying, shocker. And they end up hooking up, which I was like, oh, damn, okay. And Colin, I'm gonna put it out there because, again, why not? Amy, unfortunately, goes to finger Hope, and she's a little off the mark. And I was like,
you can say that.
Yeah, her hands don't go where they should go, in theory. And I was like, oh no. Oh no, no, no. And then Amy ends up puking all over Hope. I was like, oh
yeah, because
shit.
she gets nervous, so she goes to grab her drink, but it was actually a water cup that had cigarettes put out in it.
Yeah.
So she pukes all over her. Like, what a good first exposure to exploring your sexuality.
Yeah, and honestly, it was like a horrifying flashback to some very awkward sexual experiences I've had. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, honestly, like, it's not specific to any one person, but like just the feeling of like everything going wrong, like, it's very relatable.
Oh, absolutely. And I just want to give Amy a hug in that moment. I was like, I am so sorry. You know how that
feels. And Olivia Wilde, man, she really directed all these scenes like really well. Like the first scene where Amy like strips off her clothes with Ryan and jumps in the pool and thinks everything is like finally going her way and everything's amazing. Like, that scene feels like so liberating and like emotional and awesome and positive. And then like it's all like stripped away and broken down. Like right on screen, and the way that scene is edited and directed is really cool and really makes you feel like the emotions that the character's feeling. Like, it was very impressive, especially for a director that's never done something like this before. It was very cool.
It reminded me a lot of the drinking, kind of like the Truth and Dare drinking scene from Perks of Being a Wallflower. It reminded me a lot of that scene. I was like, okay, I mean. But you're again, Colin, your analysis, because God, you're so good at this. Watching that scene, yeah, because it plays the whole like whimsical music. You're like, oh, everything is gonna be, oh, fuck me. Like, I remember saying that out loud in the theater. I was like, oh, fucking A. Like, I was so fucking bummed because, yeah, Ryan ends up hooking up with Nick, and you're just
and then. Amy has the pukes all over the girl she's like trying to hook up with. I mean, man, like, what a horrible night.
Yeah, it's a pretty shit night. And so just as far as wrapping up here, man, I want to give one more shout out to Dan the Automator who did the music. I thought the soundtrack for this movie was fucking amazing.
Awesome. Absolute banger.
I love the music. I actually have the playlist on my Spotify that will be listened to.
Yeah, I gotta listen to it again. That was good shit.
But I just love the soundtrack. I will say in closing, man, as we give our final thoughts and wrap up here, I have true admiration for this film. I thought Olivia Wilde did an amazing job, especially for your first directorial debut, to just knock it out of the park like this. I would love to see Kaitlyn Dever and Beanie Feldstein work together again in a comedic realm, because they're really great at it. But even when the movie needs to be dramatic, they're both really great at that too. There's a whole scene that we didn't talk about, but it's kind of, again, wrapping up here, but where they go to a murder mystery party, and I thought that shit was fucking wonderful. Like, they get a lot of good jokes out of that. And And I will say too, as someone who was in drama for a little bit, and knew a lot of drama students in high school, the way drama kids are depicted in this movie, 100% accurate. Like, it is very on the nose. Yep, this is how drama kids are. I love this movie, man. Like, I really do love this. This will be a first day buy for me when it comes out. Yeah, I don't think I've given one of these all summer. Actually, I think John Wick was the only movie I got it, but I gotta go there, Colin. It's getting a fan-fucking-tastic, man. I love this movie. So this will be. Again, we're halfway through the year. I don't know what else is coming out, but I will make a point to get this on my top 10, even if it might be a little lower. But yeah, fan-fucking-tastic for me. Colin, your thoughts and grades, sir.
Yeah, man, I'm a sucker for these movies. You know that. Some of my favorite movies are these coming-of-age stories. But, this movie was really refreshing to me after, getting blockers last year, which I wasn't a fan of. I thought this movie did such a good job of, like, presenting these real characters and these real scenarios that made you feel what they were feeling, and it was really funny. It was genuinely funny. The chemistry between the two main characters was great. Honestly, this is probably going into that category that I have of those, like, high school coming of age movies that are like, these are like classics. Like, this is like a late 2010s, classic for this type of movie. So yeah, it's a fan-fucking-tastic for me. I would definitely watch this again in a heartbeat. And I think it's really cool that, so this premiered at South by Southwest. And yeah, I can't wait to go there one year and see some of these. Yeah, we're going for sure. But it's so cool that this movie didn't go straight to, like, Amazon or Netflix, because this feels like a movie that could have gotten bought up by Netflix. And Netflix,
I agree.
Netflix was probably in the bidding, but some studio wanted to release it into theaters, and that's cool. I was glad that I got to have an experience of going and seeing this movie in the theater. It was really fun. There was a really good crowd when we saw it as well. Everybody was laughing. It was a great movie. Really enjoyed it.
I really, really wish that someone like A24 would have picked this up. You know what I mean? Like, just because that's kind of like one of the indie standards. Like Brad Pitt's production company.
Yeah.
I really wish they would have picked that up. I guess this is gross, like 15 mil. I feel like the budget on this... that
had to have paid for it.
Yeah, like, I feel like the budget on this was probably nothing.
It's probably making money. That's great. That's really awesome for Olivia Wilde. That's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm happy for her.
Yeah, because I've always liked her. I've always really liked her. I always thought she was, like, great in interviews. She plays the coolest characters. Like, she does a lot of, like, romantic comedy type stuff, but she's a very likable person.
Yeah, so I'm really happy for her.
And that means more money for my boy Jason Sudeikis.
Yes, sir. So,
let's go.
and I will say the last thing Sudeikis kind of does, there's this whole thing where Molly and Amy, of course, were running late because Amy's in jail. And, Jared, I want to say, yeah. He goes ahead and goes like, hey, Molly told me to go and step in. He kind of goes like, oh, well, you know what, fuck it, fine. He's like, I don't care. Like, go ahead. Like, that alone made me laugh because Sudeikis is so over it. And there is a scene.
He's so great playing. He's just like, I want this fucking year to end.
Yeah, like, he's so over it. I will say there is a scene with Principal Brown, Sudeikis' character, in an Uber and porn, and I'm just going to leave it at that and let you experience that wonderful scene for yourselves. Oh my god, I was crying. I was actually crying in the theater. I was like, oh my god, that is so amazingly terrible that I can't wrap my mind around it. So yeah, man, I'm really happy you love this. I love this too. I can't wait to see. I really can't wait to see what Olivia Wilde does next.
I hope she keeps doing comedies.
Yeah.
or dramedies, whatever you want to call this. But like, she's really good with comedy.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, happy for everyone involved. But guys, have you seen Booksmart? If you haven't, go support this movie, please. Like, especially if you're in like a Seattle or Portland, like a major city, this is still in theaters. Go see this. Like, don't. I'll tell you how bad Dark Phoenix is on Tuesday. You don't need to go see it. Like, go see this. Go actually see something good.
Yeah, this is the best movie in theaters right now. Period.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Yeah, no, I'll give you that. But yeah, go see this, please. Go support it. Let us know what you thought in the comments below if you've seen it. You can go ahead and like us on Facebook at TheReelPineapple. You can go ahead and follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow Scott on Twitter at, well, that was weird, Twitter, good God, at Nearmanthefirst. And you can follow Colin on Twitter at
TheReelOneal.
And you can go ahead and follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes for a limited time, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean at The Real Pineapple. Guys, thank you so much for listening. As I mentioned, I'm out of town until the 12th. Is that right? 12th? 11th. My bad. So I'll be back. I'll be back in town the 11th, and I will have a review up for Dark Phoenix on like Wednesday morning, because I'm seeing it Tuesday morning, and then we'll have reviews up next weekend for Shaft. Fuck yes, I'm so.
Oh my god, you're actually excited for Shaft?
Oh dude, to quote the song, you're damn right. I'm stoked for Shaft. That sounded really weird. I said it out loud. Yeah, I love Shaft. And then we'll have a review. Oh god, and we'll have a review up as well next weekend, guys, for Men in Black International, which I hope is good, but I am not.
Oh no.
That feeling you just had, that's exactly how I feel about it. I'm
that
not.
Movie would have to be like, I don't even know what that movie has to do to make me like it.
Oh damn, that's not a good start.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm going in a little unbiased. I apologize.
Yeah, so hopefully it's good, but guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye.